feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi everyone, welcome. If you are new here and you're my previous subscribers, welcome my little astronaut. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the stock market, the economy, the housing market, whether or not the United States is going to default on its loans, and whether or not the economy will end up collapsing within itself based on the United States government and the decisions that it makes. So we have a lot of questions that I have gotten from some subscribers. I'm going to go quickly over some of what we're going to be covering in today's video. And if you just want to go to that portion of the video, it will be timestamped in the description below and in the comment section. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, you can go to that small part or section. Of course, everything will be in the description below as well. So before we do begin, it is 1 year since my channel has been created. So I am offering you guys 10% off personal readings for 30 minutes. And it will be $32.32. And for those of you guys who want a 1 hour personal reading, you guys get 20% off, and it will be $52.52. You can find it in my description below and on my website, in case you are indeed interested. After that still has ended, we're going to stop doing personal reading, and we will be starting classes very soon. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. Let's do the timestamp just so you know when this is being recorded. This is being live streamed on October 4th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, of course, check the description below. And here are some quick disclaimers. Please keep in mind this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. I am not a financial advisor, so please seek out an accountant or whoever it is that you speak to when it comes to your finances. This is just for entertainment purposes only. And here are some last minute disclaimers. So here are what we're going to be covering in today's video in case you are wondering. The first question that we're going to ask is, will the United States default on their loans or declare bankruptcy? The next question that follows is the jobs market within the next 14 months. We're going to take a look at 14 months to kind of see what that's going to be like. The housing market, the economy, the stock market as well. We'll also be talking about whether or not we will be in a recession, a depression, or an economic boom within the next 14 months. We'll also be referring to as well as for subscriber questions. We'll also be covering whether or not will the housing market crash in California specifically. This is, again, a subscriber submitted question. We'll be covering whether or not houses for sale and rental in Texas will come back to become more affordable for the middle class in the state of Texas. And lastly, we'll finish off, will there be another stimulus check in the Budget Recon Bill for the American people? And so that was one of the last questions that was submitted. If you are in the live chat now, definitely put your questions in. I'll be more than happy to go through, but please wait till the end with a subscriber question, just kind of so that it's more smoother for the people who are just watching it after the live. All right. Hi, Sakin. Hi, Paula. Hi, Rhonda. What's up, love? Yeah, the storms are pretty bad here. We'll be talking about in the next video tomorrow. We'll be talking about the social media outage on Facebook, Google, what that's all about. And I'm also be talking about as well is the Pandora Papers, which is all about the exposure of people like Jeffrey Epstein, politicians, corrupt celebrities, trying to offshore money off land and trying to use that to bargain and kind of get whatever it is that they need. So we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Let's begin. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right, let's begin. So, will the United States default on their loans or declare bankruptcy? It was interesting because, I spoke about this like a year ago too, and I've been telling you guys about this client of mine that I had last year, almost 1 year ago, and she was talking about the housing market because she's a realtor, and I told her that there was going to be an economic boom for her, particularly in her field, because young people are starting to buy houses, so she's going to do very well, but then the economy crashes, and that's where the issue comes. So let's take a look. But now that's only a year ago. Remember, nothing is ever set in stone. It is still fluid until it happens. Okay, perfect. All right, and then final outcome. Thank you. I love when I spears the hopeful. Yeah, it was wild with the outages too. Yeah, I agree with you. All right. Interesting. All right. So we have here two major economies. We have the star card reverse, which is the American economy, right, or the American presidency. We have the Justice card. This is the Republicans here. We also have here as well, we have the reverse Six of Pentacles. Challenging the Republicans or the Justice card is the King of Pentacles, right? An economic boom is what I'm seeing here as well. And a leave-in. Something's being left behind. Something is something is not being left behind. What it is that we're not leaving something that America likes to do behind. And this is particularly relating to Dombey Corporation. If you don't know what a Dombey Corporation is, in 2008 during Obama presidency and Bush as well, they started taking corporations that ended up no longer making currency or money. And so what they did was, instead of having a lot of companies go out of business, what they ended up doing was the United States government started buying these companies. And what they ended up doing, they called Dombey Company because there's no workers, there's no CEO, there's no production value. All these companies do is take in revenue from the government, but it can't pay it off because there's no one there working to pay it off. Therefore, it's considered a Dombey Corporation. This model was modeled after Japan in the 1980s with the economic boom that they have since, but now they're in a recession and the economy collapsed. This is in the same case here. I'm seeing that what we're doing here is that we're inflating the economy so much that it's going to start to become a major problem. Right? So that is what I'm seeing. That is the Justice card, and this is the challenges. The old way of doing things, right? The old way of doing things. We have here, the economy is no longer able to sustain itself on the value of the dollar. It's talking about more so the gold standard. What needed for the United States economy to really boom is the gold standard. However, many politicians in recent history have opted, instead of adopting a gold policy in terms of gold standard, they have instead instituted war as a method of driving economic success. So at the expense of your pockets, you are killing people just so that you can live comfortably. And so that is the model that they've been using. That model can no longer exist here. That is why the Justice card, the people who have died, unfortunately, for the behavior of other politicians are going to start to come back, and it's going to be karmic. That's what I'm seeing here. Right? This is why we have the Six of Pentacles reversed, we have the blue here, and we have the Independent. The Republicans think that they are winning on the issue. They're not. Being conservative with the national debt and being conservative with money overall is what's going to damage the United States country. By expanding and doing what's right for the people, you're actually going to create an economic boom. The question is that whether or not the United States is going to allow a default on a bankrupt or loan. So let's take a look. Yes or no? Because it's giving me the storyline, but it's not giving me a definitive answer. Okay, so no. I see a no here. We have the Sun card. But let's get one more clarification. Okay, that was quick. All right, so it's... Okay, here's what's happening. No, I don't see them defaulting on their loan. Just means that they won't default in terms of declaring the United States bankrupt. They won't do that. It's more so for political gesture, political game to help the Republicans win in 2022. That is what is going on here. That is the political agenda that I'm seeing. That's why it's all kind of jumping, trying to get people scared, because when you get people scared, they're more likely to vote. And you can kind of see here the reason why I say that. This is my election night card. It's reverse. And what I'm seeing is that if there's a Republican House, what is going to end up happening is that the Republicans are not going to want to be at fault for taking part in the bankruptcy of the country. And instead, they're going to opt for the option of not declaring bankruptcy. So right now, it's just a political game. They're not going to do it. I don't see it here. It feels like the energy just more on the political side rather than just physically defaulting on the loans. Hi Liz, what's up, love? Okay, that's what I see for that. So you can rest assured that the United States will not declare bankruptcy. This is just for entertainment purposes only in case you just hopped on. All right. The next question that we're going to cover is the job market within the next 14 months. So let's take a look. Now, if you have any questions, save your question to the end of when I do the subscribers question. That's when we're going to cover them. And if you are hopping on, of course, everything will be timestamped in the description below as well. Hello, little Sparrow Tower. How are you, love? How you been? Okay, so here is the card that represents the job market, right? This is the people who are representing the job market. If you guys have not already, follow Little Sparrow Tower. Definitely go check out his channel. I really love it. It's really good. Great content. Okay, so Spirit Angel, please tell me, what will this job market look like within the next 14 months? Give me 3 cards specifically. Okay, thank you. Okay, give me one in the middle. What is the one that really represents the stock market? Okay. And give me the final outcome card. What will be the future of the stock market, the job market, going into the next 14 months? What will it look like? Thank you. My spirit guys, luckily they know that I tend to stutter and say the wrong thing. So there you go. All right, so it's interesting because we have a lot of propaganda right now with people saying, oh, the people are lazy, they don't want to work, they're not getting up, they're not doing what they do, that it is that they need to do. That's not actually true. A lot of people have been saying, well, you don't want to be like a minimum wage worker because you don't want to end up in a situation just like them. Well, actually, that is actually, believe it or not the case. What is happening in the United States is a seismic shift. And what this shift is doing is that it's taking people who work in those bad jobs, because remember, people during the pandemic relied heavily. Just say, for example, you worked at Walmart during COVID. And instead of them keeping you on, but telling you to stay home, to protect you and your family during the rise of COVID, they instead started firing their workers. And so a lot of people lost their insurance, the money, their pension, no matter how long they worked there. And because of that, people started to question whether or not it was a good idea of maintaining and working at those type of jobs who don't respect the value and experience and the time and energy that they give in that company. And so what people have done is that they have decided to opt for more better high quality job, more respectable job that they can live off of and not have to worry on a daily basis whether or not they're going to be laid off. Because remember, a lot of companies within the United States have shown a lot of its workers that each and every single one of them are replaceable, and that that they're not essential. They're only essential for when they need them, and when they don't need them, they're more than happy to put you right out of place. And so that is what is going on. This is the way the job market is. This is the idea. That's why there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of Pentacles is reversed. 8 of Pentacles is more about completion, getting to the successfulness and the cycle, ending the cycle. And this is reversed. And what this is telling me is that people are done. They have been fed up. And besides, they have made the final decision to do what is best for them. For so long, people who are working the job market have been working in jobs that they shouldn't be working in, that they tell themselves, oh, I'm only going to work retail and I want to be a doctor. But yet they end up finding themselves working at retail for 14, 30, 20 years later after they said that. And that's where the seismic shift is dying. It's not that there's a labor shortage. What is going on is that people are moving to better jobs. That is what's happening. So in the past year, we had the recession, right? We had the ignorance. We have the workers, right? We have the teammates. We have the team, the people. The people are very essential to it. What's happening is that you can have a really good corporation, but you can have a really bad manager. And with a very bad manager, they can make their best employee leave. And when you have your best employee leave, that's where the problems start to begin. So I just have here, this is in the past. We have all the workers, the 9 of Cups in back. We have all the workers here. And then here we have is the guy who's acting ignorant. This is the CEO. This is the company, the corporation. Here are the people that they call essential. But as you notice, this guy is having his arm crossed, not willing to negotiate, and has his back turned and facing in the opposite direction. He said, this is my team, but I'm not willing to negotiate. Whether you like it or not, this is how it's going to be. This is how it always will be. And that is the mind thinking. That is the past. That's what happened in the past, right? It's the ignorance, not understanding what it is that your daily employees go through. Now, for the middle here, the present, that represents the job market, right? We have here the family home, the average family home. This is talking about the millennial generation, specifically the millennial. It's that a lot of them are unable to afford a lot of houses during early 2000 under Obama, under Trump. But now what is occurring is that a lot of people are moving, a lot of people are going to different directions in different areas in different places. And what this has done is it has allowed and opened up a market for millennials to buy houses. Because of that, with those houses comes a change in jobs because they need to move. And when you move, you have to change your job or location. Not every place allows remote. And that is where the change is happening. It's happening within the home. A lot of people are wanting to work at home now, not physically go there. And that part of what's driving that big change is the way that people treat other customers and the way customers treat employees, especially underpaid employees. And that is what's driving this new seismic change. In the 14 months that follow, I see here is that there is going to be the same old type energy. We have the Ace of Pentacles. I'm glad you caught this too, Little Sparrow. We have here as well, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And this is very interesting because what this tells me is that they're not willing to help out the little ones. They're not willing to help out family-owned businesses. They're not willing to help and give each other a lending hand during a time of hardship. And what I am seeing here is that a lot of people, for the longest time, is starting to understand that they cannot depend on the people that they thought that they were promised would help them in a time of need, whether that comes to college tuition, whether that comes to education, whether that comes to a multitude of other reasons when it comes to working for a corporation. And we have here, this is talking about helping, like a bonus, like a holiday bonus. So some companies offer a holiday bonus for Christmas or Thanksgiving to the employees. I don't see that happening here. It feels like a lot of corporations have taken this up as a means of saying, oh, the company cannot afford to give you $100 in bonus because of COVID, we're broke, we can't afford to pay you, but we're more than happy to give ourselves another $1,000 in our pocket. That is what the attitude that is going on, and that's not going to be a good attitude, and that's what driving people away from the job market. Again, we have the Star card. This plays into what is already occurring. This card came out previously in the other past reading when we talked about overall with the bankruptcy and the defaulting. What's happening now is that people are not working, employees are not working, or at least not going to underpaid jobs. And what it has done is the service industry, the entertainment industry, the retail industry are starting to suffer. But they're suffering because, rightly so, the karmic energy is there and it's going after them. And the karmic energy is not going to destroy the industry. What is actually happening is what I'm seeing here is that it's actually going to revive it, but in a way that is more respectable, a way in that people can work and be able to understand that, they have their back, they have each other's back. It's almost more of a community rather than just one for survival, where you have to fight to be on the top. It's going to be an environment where the CEO, the manager, they're all at the same level and that they're going to work together as a team. That is the future of the job market. That is where we're heading. But as of right now, within the next 14 months, I'm seeing here that it's going to be the same old. And that is what they're going to have to realize, that it's going to be like this for a long time until they get their crap together and figure out, okay, what we're doing is not working. We have to change our trajectory. And that is what's going to happen. That is the state of the job market. So I hope that was a little informative. I know that was a lot. Okay, so let's do the housing market in the next 14 months. Hi, Patty. What's up, love? Hi, Liz. Thank you. I'm glad you like the interpretation of the cards. Yeah, I find it to be very good. I mean, in terms of like energetically, energized-wise, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the housing market. Oh, okay. So the cards that represent the housing market within the next 14 months is the Queen of Wands. That is interesting. Okay. Let's take a look. What is the housing market going to be like in the next 14 months? Show me what it's going to be like in terms of final outcome card. Okay. Can we see what more? Okay. All right. We'll take them. Okay. All right. So what we have here is we have the Queen of Wands. This is interesting because the first thing that came to me, this is a very spiritual card. We have the Black Cat, the Day of the Black Cat. What is coming to me and what is feeling is that this is the change of femininity, the change of feminine energy. And what is happening is that people are going to areas where there's high concentration of feminine energy. I don't know what that could mean. It could mean more better environment cases. It could mean more women in one local area. It could mean a multitude of different things, whatever that may mean. But I am seeing here that femininity is what is driving the housing market in the next 14 months. Right? We have here is we have the Devil card in reverse. Right? We had the market crashing in 2008, and that was very devastating for a lot of us. Right? That was in the past. What is occurring now is that people actually, believe it or not, are buying houses, but aren't paying top dollar for them. Right? You know, the inflation rate had took a house that would normally be about $100,000 and skyrocketed to $1 million. Right? What is occurring here is that people are not willing to pay that $1 million, and people are opting for better alternatives, such as tiny home, mobile home, being able to move from one location without having to be bogged down in one specific location. And so that is where we're going in right now. What is occurring here is that the environmental change is that people are going to start to become more mobile. Right? Oh, right. That's interesting. Interesting interpretation. Interesting. Maybe more women are buying property. That could be right. You definitely 100%. You are 100% could be. That it could be one of the main things. What could also be as well is that I'm seeing here that people are starting to become more mobile, and what they're doing is that they're driving to one place to the next without having to worry about like, oh, you know, living in Dallas forever and you know the taxes. So if the taxes rise, you can just leave the state because you can take everything with you without having to sell anything that's yours. That is what I'm seeing here, that there is a change here that's occurring. The way that we think, the way that we buy things are changing. That is what's occurring in the housing market. Now, in the next 14 months, I don't see a housing tightness. It's not going to tighten. If anything, what's going to occur within the next 14 months with the housing market is actually going to expand. And whatever that may mean, it means that maybe it could mean a burst, it could mean a boom of housing goes on the market. It could mean that. It could mean an expansion the way that we move, the way that we do things. There's some sort of expansion here. Right? Yeah, I completely agree with you 100%. We have here as well as that here's the Knight of Cups. This is interesting because I talked about mobile before. We have here the Knight of Cups. People taking whatever is theirs and they're just moving ahead. That is what's occurring within the next 14 months. The way that we do things, maybe potentially they're going to create a new technology where instead of having an actual house on the ground, you can now put wheels on your house and take the entire house with you. Now, that may be far-fetched, but it's a possibility in the future. Anything is possible if you believe it, right? And that is what could be one of those main things. It could be that as well. And the reason why this is so beneficial, just say there's a natural disaster coming, like a hurricane in Florida, and you live close to Georgia or, you know, Tennessee, for example. You can take your house and everything with you, and you don't have to worry about losing a lot of your property because of everything. We have here as well that there's going to be a lot more option. I feel like there's going to be a lot more competitors within the housing market, and that is what's going to be very beneficial for the country and many countries around the globe, is that there's going to be a new market and a brand new opening. There's going to be a new opening. We have here as well is that there's going to be an incentive. I have a feeling that the government is going to do everything in its power to prevent a housing crash. If anything, I feel like what is going to occur is that it's going to be very similar to what we saw with FDR. The government is going to provide people with the incentive, whether that's money or tax breaks or whatever. If you buy a house in this specific location, you would get this, and this off. That is what I'm seeing here, that there's a possibility for more of getting people to move and to go in different directions. Kind of what they did when the United States took California, Texas, and when they were trying to get people to go to California, had the gold rush where people started moving within those little carriages to California in hope of finding gold. That is what I'm seeing here, that there's going to be an incentive payment to people to get housing to prevent it from collapsing. We have here the strength. The strength is not going to be strong in terms of the housing market, but I don't see a complete and utter collapse. I feel like it's going to be not as high as it was, but it's going to be just median, just where it cannot collapse, but it's not going to be skyrocketing high. And that's because the new competitor is going to need to be able to move in, and there needs to be, it's going to be a little rocky. It's going to be wavy like this, but it's going to need to adapt and allow it to situate. And once it situates, it's going to go up or down. But in the next 14 months, it's just going to go like this. It's going to go up and down for a little bit, okay? So the housing market is not going to crash within the next 14 months. I feel like there's some plan in place already that the government is already looking at or going to institute. Okay, so let's take a look at the economy within the next 14 months. I apologize. Okay. All right, we're going to shuffle this really good. What do you guys think so far to reading? You feel confident? What are you guys getting? Spirits and Angels, please tell me. Spirits and Angels, please allow me to be able to clear the deck of any negative energy. Clear the cards of any negative energy. I use sound therapy to clear my cards. All right, so Spirits and Angels, please tell me, what is the state of the United States economy within the next 14 months? What is that looking like within the next 14 months? What is the state of the United States economy? So that's the card that represents the United States economy. Can we have 3 cards total, please? Okay. Present. Okay. Okay, do you want me to put that one back? Okay. I get the 2 cards for the middle, and then we have a couple here that goes with this, so we'll put that there. And then future, the state. Okay. They're giving me a lot today. All right, let's do this thing, okay? So the cards that represent the United States economy is actually, believe it or not, the Ace of Cups. And this is very interesting because this refers to me as the American dream. Right? The American dream. And what it's referring to here is that although it's the American dream, it's the American dream that we all hoped and want, but never able to receive. You know, part of what made America so attractive is that American dream. I'm glad you like it in a second. What made America so attractive is that American dream. But the problem with America is that it never truly defined what it means to have the American dream. And because of that, it lacked structure and planning. And that is the American economy right here. It's in free for all. There is no structure. There is no organization of what it means to have the American dream. The American dream is just open for any interpretation of any kind. There is no sort of structure. There is no something that's set in place or set in stone that defines what it means to have the American dream. In the past years, we have the 6 of Pentacles, and this one is upright. This is very interesting because this talks about corporation. This is the people. This is the people. This is you, the American people. And what it's referring to here is that we have this this balance level, right? The economy is supposed to be well balanced, and that it's to have the government is the red here, have the government to provide the money instead of corporation and giving it to the people would have balanced out the economy. But they're greedy and people are paid off. And so they gave the money to the people in yellow, the corporation. That is the past here. That is what's been going on. This is what represents the United States economy, is this card. We have here as well the card that accidentally came out with a Queen of Wands. Again, the femininity, the feminine energy here, the spirituality here, the false narrative. This is talking about the church. It's talking about, to me, this is referred to the church in this aspect, not paying taxes. People are using that as a loophole to avoid taxes by creating an organization or saying that they represent a religion, even though it's not a religion at all. And it had nothing to do with Christianity or Buddhism or anything like that. People are just using it as a tax loophole of any kind. We have here as well is we have the Sun card reversed. and that there's corruption. And this is in the past that none of this has been revealed. We know about it, but it's not revealed. There's nothing that we can do about it because there is no sense of proof. That is in the past of the economy. The economy is inflated, that there's too many loopholes in the economy, and that it causes issues. We have here as well, we have the magician, greedy people, manipulation, right? We talked about manipulation, inflating the economy beyond what it could already be inflated for. The United States inflation rate is already going up. And it's going up so high, in fact, that the dollar store is actually raising the prices to $1.50. That has never happened since its creation. And if you don't know what Dollar Tree is where you go there and you can get small usable things for $1. Like this, for example, I bought this one thing for about $1, and I bought about 50 or 60 of these, and I'll be kind. But that's very detrimental. $1.50, just say you buy 2 items, that's $3. Instead of you buy 3 items and it's $3. You kind of save more with one extra item. But anyway, you have the chariot card, and we have the ceiling. What is going on now is that, because actually, just believe it or not, I don't know if you know this, the Pandora paper, which is basically what is occurring in here, was where I said the evidence was revealed, has now just today been revealed. The Pandora papers have been leaked, it has hacked, and it's now released. Now you can find out who did what, who was paid, politician, murderers, serial killers, Jeffrey Epstein. Everything is on that thing. We have here is that nowadays, no one has the ability to be able to steal, because now we know who did what, and now they can go after them for the money that it has been stolen. We have the chariot. What is occurring here in the economy is that it's not going high, but it's also not going down. It feels like it's just slow. I don't know why that is, but it feels like the economy is just slow, like it's just stagnant, like it's not moving, it's not budging up or down. It's just like almost like when you have like when someone is dying and they have that heart that goes up and down, and then like that one line. It's kind of like that. It's like goes up and down, and then there's one line. That is what I'm seeing from the chariot card. It's that is what it's doing. Yeah, you heard about that? Yeah, it's bad. So now for the final outcome card. Now let's take a look at the economy in terms of what is going on in the next 14 months for the economy. We have the Queen of Pentacles. What this is that women right now have the power, but they don't have the money. They don't have the funds. Right now, women don't have the funds. Or at least the feminine energy. This could also include men as well. We have the high priestess. What is occurring here? That although they don't have the funds, they have the power, they have the voice, they have the people in position of power that have the ability to be able to create change and be able to be that mediating force between good and evil. We have here the Knight of Wands. The patriarchy is ending, actually. This is actually showing, what is occurring now is that the women are moving into power while the men are fleeing. The masculine energy is fleeing. This is talking about the patriarchy, the system where the men are superior, white men are superior over women, and that is changing. And it's the energy that is changing as well. Does that mean men won't be in power, they won't be in office? It's the energy of feeling that you're better than someone, or feeling that, there's a lot more to you than it is for another individual. Seeing that there's more to life to another person than what you have been told. The have here as well as your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of swords reverse. And what this is telling me here that no, the economy will not be in trouble within the next 14 months. So if you're worried, you can rest assured the economy is not going to collapse, stagnant. It stays on par with what we've been saying in this video. So you can rest assured, don't worry. All right, we're going to take a little quick break. I'm going to get some water. And then the next 2 questions that we're going to cover is the stock market in the next 14 months, what that's going to look like. Then we're also going to be covering, will we be in a recession, an oppression, or an economic boom within the next 14 months? We'll take a look at that. And then we will open up the entire rest of the video to subscribers' questions. So if you have questions, of course, we'll be doing that. I'm going to go quickly to ad break so I can get some rest and you guys can process the information I've given you so far. Have you ever wondered how you can get access or find my social media, my webpage, anything from my Patreon page to my classes, to book a reading with me, whatever you want, and anything that you could possibly think of, including submitting questions? You would go onto my YouTube page, click on the most uploaded or most recent video. You'll click on any of these or the ones that are uploaded as most recent. You will go there. You will go to the description, as in this case. And you can either click on submit your question, video topic, or request here. You can find it there. Or you can go check out through my website and you can click on this, which is Linktree at Chris. You click on that and it will take you to my webpage where you can find numerous different links, or it could take you to many different things along with my classes that will be uploaded here as well on my Patreon page. You can book a reading with me. You can submit your question. You can find the most uploaded video. You can go on to my 2 other YouTube channels. You can make a generous donation if you would like, along with joining my Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter as well, of course, if you are interested. So this is how you can find my webpage. If you are interested, let me know in the comment section below what you do think. And I'll return you back to your content. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. You're welcome, little sparrow. If you have any more interpretations that what I'm reading on, feel free to share them with us. Okay, let's take a look. What will the stock market look like within the next 14 months? Spirit Angel, please tell me, what will the stock market in the United States look like within the next 14 months? What will it look like in the next 14 months? Okay, we have again the Queen of Wands. It's just in the card keeps coming up. I swear I am like still mind boggled why the card keeps coming up, but the women are important here. Okay, we have the male here in the past. Okay, what's it right now? What is going on? Okay. Oh, okay. The future of the stock market. Okay. All right, interesting. So this is the state of the United States stock market right now. So we have the Queen of Wands. Same interpretation applies here. I feel like the same interpretation applies, but I'm noticing the sunflower in this case. And so what this is telling me that something new is arising. The sunflower is very strong, and it adapted to where the sun is located in the sky. You know, sunflowers, when they don't have any sun in the sky, what they end up looking to is that they will actually turn to each other and look at each other. And that is what I'm seeing here with the Queen of Wands, is that when in a time of difficulty, we're going to start to experience a lot of the stock market start to look very similar to one another. I don't know what that means, but it could be like everything at the same price. Could mean that everyone's skyrocketing at abnormal rates. Who knows what that potentially could mean? But that's what I'm seeing here. We have here in the past is the same thing. It's the patriarchy leaving, the patriarchal energy is leaving. Right? We have here the conservative agenda, the idea of conservatism, being very tight with your money. That's the idea, that in this day and age, being too conservative with your money does not fly well with a lot of people, particularly Americans, is what I'm sensing here. And the card that comes here is that the time is ending. We're coming out of this rocky wave and going to smoother, calmer waters. And that is what's here, right? We find land here. You see land ahead. That we're going to find our footing eventually. That's the past, right? Now, underneath the Queen of Wands, we have here the stock market. And we have here money that isn't growing at the rate that it would like to grow at. And that is something that is very significant. That is due to a numerous amount of events that has been occurring since 2020. And that's interesting because we have here as well, we have the Star card. What this signals to me is that this is a sign, and I spoke about this before when if you watched my 100 subscriber video and I talked about the economy, and I spoke about a woman being in power during a time of economic hardship and economic trouble. This could potentially be relating to Kamala Harris or a woman-type president. This could also mean, as well as the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, not even being president, but being a major force to reckon with. And that is why this is very significant, is that women have to come together in both Congress, the Senate, and the House, and come together to conjugate a brand new idea, brand new reformation, almost like a revivation of the economy, right? That is what's going on here. Now, as for the stock market in the future, in the next 14 months, we have the death card. That's the challenge is rebirth, right? The challenge is collapsing but coming back up. The the challenge is that the stock market is going to crash, without a doubt. But what this is telling me here is that the next plan is that they know it's going to crash, but the plan is how fast can we recover? And that is the question here is that how can we make it so that the economy crashes, but it goes up, like a very sharp up. So, for example, if the economy goes gradually down a hill, right? Almost like a roller coaster, it shoots up, straight up. From once you hit that low point, it goes straight up, kind of like that. That is what they're aiming for. Is that card? Is how can we bring a rebirth to the stock market? They don't want a repeat of the depression. And we have here that was challenging here at the page of stories. Is the new people, the millennial, what are they called? The squad with Ocasio-Cortez and all of them. They're going to play a major role here. Whether they like it or not, they're going to play a major role. It's a brand new idea, right? The same old does not work anymore, right? Trickle-down economics, it's the end. This is what it could mean. It's the end of trickle economics. We have here the world. This is on the world stage, though. So worldwide, the stock market is going to crash, but the way each country approaches it will determine the rate at which they recover, right? But this is referring to the United States and globally in this video. That is what I'm seeing here. So now the next question that we're going to cover is, will we be in a recession, a depression, or an economic boom within the next 14 months? So let's take a look. Now, this does not mean it's going to occur within the next 14 months. Remember, time cannot be told in tarot. Spirit guides don't know time because they operate very differently on a different wavelength and energetic field. So therefore, time is just fluid, so to speak. All right, so Spirit Angel, please tell me, will we be in a recession? One card, please. Okay. Will we be in a depression? Okay. And will we be experiencing an economic boom within the next 14 months? Okay. All right, so basically, if you don't know, a recession is basically an economy going downward, but only lasts about a couple of months, about particularly 1 year. A depression is longer than a year. That's what that is. An economic boom is, of course, economy going really well and the stock market doing very well. A global crash, yes, right, Liz, yep. So we have here in the passage, we have 4 major cups here, right? We're talking about here is the recession. We had about a couple of them. We had the 1970s, we had the 1980s, we had the 1990s. We had 2008, and then of course this one, right? We have 4 recession. That's in the past here, right? The question is that we're not accepting that it's going to be another recession. So it tells me here that it might be a depression. It could be. Could be. We have here now for the depression card is we have the world's card reversed. And we're asking particularly about the United States. Like I said, the way that each country approaches the situation and the way they have the economic advisors doing it will determine the rate at which they recover, right? In this case, this does not apply globally in terms of depression. So in little spots, some areas may have a depression, some areas may have a recession, some may have an economic boom. It does not apply to every nation in the world, right? The United States could have a depression while England has an economic boom. Kind of very similar to that type of energy. Like every part is random, really. Now, as for the economic boom, we have the moon here. We have the key. We have the stage set up. The question is, will America seize it? So what I'm sensing here is that rather more than anything, the 2 likely outcomes for the United States in terms of whether or not within the next 14 months we will either witness a depression or we will witness an economic boom. That is entirely up to the United States and the country and the politicians that are in power. That is what's going to dictate the future of America. Now, this also for your other countries, you're worried about Mexico or something like that. Same thing applies, but what applies is that they could either be in recession, economic boom, or a depression. It could be any of those three. So that is what I'm seeing. So now onward, we are going to do subscribers' questions. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to write down your questions if you have any in the live chat. We have 3 subscriber questions that we're going to cover. If you just like a subscriber question, you kind of want to check the timestamp. This is what we'll be covering. Will the housing market crash, particularly in the state of California? Will houses for sale and rental in Texas come back to become more affordable for the middle class? And of course, another question is, will there be another similar shock in the budget recon bill for the American people? And so those are already pre-submitted subscribers' questions. So if you have any questions, put them in the live chat now. I'm going to give you a little bit of break to process what has been happening and the things that I've been giving you. I'm going to have you choose a couple each to kind of deviate onto this next section. Okay. Now, if you had not been here for a long time or you just subscribed, thank you. This is the Easter egg. And what each one is that each one has a specific message that you need to hear. So I'm going to pick 3. Okay, we have this one. And we have this one. Now, what you have to do is you have to close your eyes and feel drawn to whatever Easter egg you feel really connected to, what you feel drawn to. Now, if you feel connected to all 3, there might be a message that is connected to all 3. This is kind of like how I deviate, to kind of relax you a little bit before we go on to the next section of the video. Liz, your question didn't show up. It just shows this. Okay, so if you have chosen the blue one, this is your message. If different doesn't mean wrong. So however that applies to you, if that different does not mean wrong. Whether that means that the way you view things, the way you do certain topics, maybe the way you decorate, maybe the way you do fashion, maybe whatever it is, maybe the way you think, maybe the way you perceive. Different does not mean wrong. It could also be referring to disability. It could be whatever this is that is really connecting to you on a deeper level. Now, for those of you guys that have chosen this pink bunny, this is your message. If they want you to learn to be happy, to smile more, be more adventurous, be more outgoing, just be you, really, just be you. Just smile. So now the crystal that represents you is howlite. That is the crystal that represents you. Okay, so look up what howlite means. And also as well, I don't know if some of you guys noticed, but this is also a turtle, little keychain. A little turtle keychain. That represents more so the fact that you're growing, you're coming out of your shell. You got to get out of your stand. Stop being in that stand. Get out and run to the ocean. Don't be scared, because turtles know that they're going to be eaten if they don't run fast enough. Just run towards your dream. Don't let any obstacle get in your way. And if you get snatched, there's always a restart button. There always is. It's called reincarnation. I'm kidding. There is a restart button though. Okay, so if you have chosen the pink purple egg, let's see what your message is. Okay, we have here eat a banana. Okay, so reason why this is so significant is eating banana could be referring to potassium. It could also mean the letter P, the K. It could also be referring to something a little bit more specific. You need to eat healthy, get on a better diet. It could mean take nutritional value in terms of vitamins. It could be get on track, exercise, just be you. Really, it could mean a healthy mindset in terms of your mind, your physical, your soul, your spiritual. There's so much that it can mean. Just figure out, ask yourself, what does that mean for me as an individual? Because I don't know what you ask. Because each and every single one of you are different, and you should value that. Okay, let's move on to the next question. If you have any questions, put them in the live chat now. Okay, so will the housing market crash in the state of California? Okay, the first thing I heard was no. Okay, so we have, funny enough, you have the woman here again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. This is the homelessness crisis. The homelessness, California had the highest rate of homelessness per capita in the country and in the world, I believe. That is what's in the past here, homelessness crisis. What is occurring here in the housing market in the state of California is that even though there's not enough buyers, there is a change, a seismic shift. Same thing that I said earlier in the video. It's referring to mobile home. People are trying to be more environmentally friendly. Are trying to figure out avenues on how they can survive the next natural disaster. We have here as well, we have temperance. There's going to be a sense of balance. It's going to level out. I feel like in the state of California, it's going to be very beneficial. The housing market is going to be very stagnant. It's not going to change or budge too much in the state of California. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I need banana bread. I make really good banana bread too. So this is a positive message for the state of California. Now we're going to jump into Liz's question, and then we'll jump back into the other subscriber question. Okay, how is the world's government going to respond to a global crash? All right. I kind of basically answered the question earlier, but let's just ask it specifically. Okay, so Spirits and Angels tell me, how is the world's government going to respond to a global crash, a worldwide crash? Final outcome? Okay, the first thing I heard in my head right now from my guys, what I heard, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. I don't know what that means. Let me just see what my cards have to say about that. What does nowhere to hide, nowhere to go mean? Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, nowhere to go. They said it in that order too. Oh, okay. We have the Tower card. Okay. Corruption. That's what this is. It's corruption. All right. So, hi, Elizabeth. Glad to see you too, love. Okay, there you go. Okay, so we have here, this is corruption. That's what this is. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. That's what this is. We have here is we have the Emperor's card reversed. And what this is referring to is the fact that the time has come. The time has come, not the end times, right? What has come is the time of when people who have committed crimes and atrocities, whether that means trying to benefit off the energies and just take people from disadvantage of them, take advantage of people. Excuse me, I was stuttering. That is what I'm seeing here, is that there is a change here. And that's referring to people are finally going to be put up and there are going to be consequences for your action. That is what this Emperor's card is meaning. That's the path. We have here, we have the Page of Wands. What they're saying to themselves right now, and I quote, and I'm sorry, I just want to put this out here one little bit. If you have children, I'm going to kind of keep it PG-13. What they're saying is, oh no, oh poop, oh poop. That is what they're saying, okay? That is what they're saying because they've been caught. That is what's going on because information today with the Pandora paper revealed just that. And that's interesting that this came out because they're looking at this information and they're saying people are going to start to connect the dots. The money trail is here. The money trail is going to start to become more leaking out, right? It's going to be called, I'm not going to say it's inappropriate. But we have here as well, we have the Two of Wands reversed, and this is the world, and we're talking about a global crisis. The way that it's going to go is that a lot of people in a position of power are going to start to lose power, including and not limited to positions or agencies very similar to the FBI, the CIA, the FDC, the CDC, the presidency, the Congress, the Senate, House of Commons, the Parliament, the Common House, I don't know. Every government, every form, every agency, the police department, the fire department, the retail, entertainment, Hollywood, all of them are going to be connected. And what I'm seeing here with this World's card, it means is that a lot of those people are going to lose their job without a doubt because people are going to start to go after them. That is what I'm seeing, that there's something happening here. That the people in positions of power have used their position as a way of means of benefiting not only themselves, but benefiting the people that they are being paid to do. That is what I'm seeing here. We have here as well as we have the Tower card and the magician, the inflation, inflating the economy more than what it could already sustain itself based on. So that is what I'm seeing. How the government respond, if they're going to say, oh, poop, we're after. That is what I'm seeing here. That is what I'm seeing, that they messed up, and it's going to be on them to fix it. That is what's happening. All right. Let me know, little spout, what you think of this. Let me know if you got the same thing, because I know you tend to read on kind of very similar topics as me as well. Let me like to share information and kind of see what we get. So it'll be interesting to see what you get as well. Okay, well, houses for sale and rental in Texas come back to affordable prices for middle class. Let's take a look. And if you have questions and you are a subscriber, feel free to put them in the live chat. Okay. Spirit Sanders, tell me what houses for sale and rental in the state of Texas come back to affordable prices for middle class. 3 cards, please. Okay. All right. Whew. All right. Sorry. What we have here is we have prices been rising since more people are moving in to the state of Texas. The one I'm seeing that too many people are moving in and it's skyrocketing prices. So just say you move in the city of Dallas, what it has done is it's raising the prices of the local area, which means that everybody is paying more in rent per year. And that is that's what I'm seeing. That's the major issue. Everything is rising. Yes, I'll follow along and see. Thank you, little sparrow. We have here as well as in the center here is we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Pentacles. They're looking all the after surplus of money. And what they're saying is that they're saying, oh, the government's taxing us more, so we have to raise the price and blah, blah, blah. Actually, no, it's actually BS. What they're doing is they're actually taking advantage of the situation, the COVID-19 pandemic, to get rid of people that they don't want and to try to basically, in my term, this is what I call it, financially rape you. Because that's what this is. They try to squeeze everything out of you, including your dignity and your hard work for that money, and they try to financially rape you and take all your money and try to squeeze whatever is left of you, kind of like an orange. Right? That is what's here. They're looking at the benefit. They're looking at for their own interest, not for the populace. Right? We have here as well, what's really interesting is in the final outcome card, in terms of affordable prices in the state of Texas, we have the cherry card. And the reason why this is significant is that we had this card come up before, particularly when I'm relating around, I believe, the housing market or something close to that. And this is upside down. It kind of tells me it's slow. And this is referring to the fact that even though more people are moving into the state of Texas, it's not going to be as devastating as you initially think. And the reason for that is that there's going to be a calm governor, a brand new governor, actually in the state of California, in the state of Texas. That's what I'm seeing. I have not read on the race yet in the state of Texas for the governor. But what I'm seeing in the card here, that there's going to be a Democrat, a king of cups, and even though the turbulence is going to be quite crazy, and I do feel like there's going to be a Republican House or Assembly in the state of Texas, there is going to be a Democratic governor in the state of Texas. That is what I'm seeing. Right? And what is really interesting here is that he's going to help the people in the state of Texas. He's going to go to towns. He's going to make sure he's going to understand. He's going to talk like the common person, a common man, and a common woman, and a common day. He's going to talk to each and every single one of them. And the reason why that is so significant is that people are going to actually understand him, and they're going to actually give him their vote, no matter what political party they represent. He will be able to win, and he will be able to get the job done. Right? And we have the moon. The moon card here, right? This is a Scorpio season. This is what we're in right now. Well, actually, that's not a Scorpio. That's a lobster. Oopsie. Kind of so applies. We have the moon, right? The moon and the sun. And right here, we have the dogs barking, the two political parties, and here's the third party. The third party is not that big. It doesn't bark. You can barely hear it. And you have the two political parties going at it. And here is the state of Texas. And Texas, the way Texas goes is the way the country is going to go. That's what I'm seeing here. That The way Texas becomes a brand new vitalization, it's going to sprinkle throughout the other states, and the other states are going to adopt the same policies or something remotely similar to it. Right? This is the state government here. This is interesting. We have the two pillars, and I'm seeing nuclear energy. Potentially, they're going to find a way to become part of the power grid in part of the United States and connect, become more localized and environmentally friendly in terms of nuclear power plants and solar panels. I feel like they're going to start to make electricity free. That is what I'm sensing in the state of Texas. That Texas is actually going to be one of the first states to make electricity free. And that's how that's going to help the state of Texas and people be able to afford their home because they have one less thing to pay. So that is what I'm seeing for the state of Texas. Ooh, you get that too? Yes, upside down cherry seems like prices won't budge much, but agree on the King Cup being a Democratic leader. Good news. Yes. Okay, glad you agree. Glad we got the same thing. Okay, so let's see what the last question is. Does anyone have any last questions? Feel free to put them in the live chat now. All right. So the next question that we're covering now is, will there be another stimulus check in the budget recon bill for the American people? Okay, take a look. All right. Spirit Angels tell me, will there be another stimulus check in store for the American people from the recon bill? Will Americans receive another stimulus check? Okay, so here's what I heard in my ear. That yes, it will happen. And I heard that even though Biden says no, it's going to happen anyway. That is what I heard in my ear. That is what I'm hearing. Yay, glad. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that they're telling me that even though Biden is saying no, it's going to get passed anyway, and Biden's going to sign it. It's almost like Biden's going to say no to have kind of like drive a little bit of support for the Republicans on the Republican side, saying that if he doesn't support it, but it's kind of like a political move, but he's going to sign it. But it feels like it's in the way. I heard it's in the works already. So let's see. Okay. Okay. Whoopsie. Okay. Want to make sure I flip them right. All right. So we have the magician card, right? This is talking about the stimulus check, manifestation, right? We're manifesting it. We have here in the past, we were only given 3 stimulus checks, right? And it's all been used up. What is happening here is that there are 2 more possibilities for 2 more stimulus checks. That is what I'm seeing. There's 2 more bills that could potentially give us 2 more stimulus checks. That is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing here that there's a bridge, that they're going to find some sort of common ground with 2 other Republican senators. That's not going to be relating to Joe Manchin or Kristen Sinema. So I feel like Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin will not take part in this in some way or some form. I don't know why, but there's something here. They're going to have 2 Republicans replace them. We have the star card, and that's reverse. And what this is telling me here is that there is that sense of idea that, maybe we shouldn't give them too little. Maybe triple down economics doesn't work. Maybe why don't we give them more from this pond and hope that it goes up? Because what they have found based on data is that the more money you get the citizens, the more likely they are to expand the economy. So it's basically a no-brainer to give the more people more money, because it's going, in return, the government's going to receive triple or double what they have given the Americans. So basically it's an interest in the American individual. We have here in the future, though, as for the stimulus check, we have here, it doesn't feel like there's too much tightness. It feels like it's more of a political maneuver by the Republicans to try to get Republicans riled up for the midterms. That is what I'm sensing here. But it doesn't feel like there's actually a restriction. Now, as it comes when the doors are closed behind closed doors and it comes to private talk and there's no sort of a record of anyone saying what, it feels like there is some extreme support for the stimulus check, but when it comes to public support, that changes. We have here, as well as we have the Hangsman reverse, and that is interesting because they're going to come to the senses that the only way to save the country and to save the economy is to provide another stimulus check. I do see a big yes for another stimulus check, and here it is: the Queen of Wands, the women, the women will make the final ruling. Potentially, it could be under President Kamala Harris, where this could potentially pass. It could also mean Nancy Pelosi, or just women in general are going to benefit overall. Yeah. And it's also, again, we have the job market here, talking about the job market. So it's going to stimulate the job market. And here is the King of Cups. This is a Democratic president. This is Joe Biden. This is my Biden card. This is what this is. That's what this is. Is that this is going to help Joe Biden stimulate the stock market, the economy, the job market, and the stimulus check. The stimulus check is going to do that. I feel like this next stimulus check is going to be bigger than the past couple of ones. So that is what I'm sensing for the stimulus check. Do you get anything on that, Little Sparrow? We can take a look at that. All right. I might actually clip this video out and make a separate video of this to kind of make it a little shorter for people. How about Gavin Newsom future in the White House? What is Gavin Newsom future in the White House? What is that going to be like? Will he win the election? Will Gavin Newsom be president? Let's start there. Okay, here's the story. Okay. So, when Gavin Newsom runs for president, it's going to be under a Republican president. That's what this is. It's going to happen under a Republican president. I thought you were spot on. I think maybe certain states will, so the woman could be a state or personal leader. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Thank you, Little Farrah. I'm glad you find that to be spot on. Okay, so this is the storyline here. It's going to be under a Republican president when he runs for president. We have the strength. He's not going to have support in the Democratic primaries. He's not going to have a lot of support in terms of that. At least starting out, right? We have here the Knight of Wands. He's not going to be seen as an individual that's charismatic like Jon Ossoff, or someone who will bring that sense of unity around a group of people, bring that coalition. That is what I'm sending here, that there's going to be no coalition. That is because his name might not be out there. However, when he runs, the Democratic primary is not going to be close. It's not going to be too contested. It could be meaning the Democratic primary, or it could be referring to a landslide election. It could be a landslide election. It could mean that the Democratic could win by a landslide or the Republican. However, what we have here, this is the King of Wands. This is the conservative. This is my liberal, neoliberal Republican. This is like John McCain, George Bush. Those type of Republicans are in this card. We have here, they will be a president. But we have here the King of Swords, someone new as president, because this is the incumbent. Which also tells me that this Republican is the incumbent, right? Okay, so the incumbent is Republican. That is what this is. Now, whether or not he will win, that's a whole nother thing. The president. Okay, so the thing is about this, when he runs, it's going to be at a time when America is the most conservative, which means that he may not have a chance. We have the Two of Wands reverse. There's Two of Wands. He doesn't have public support. Potentially, maybe he may become governor of California, but may move out of the limelight for a little bit. And because he moved out of the limelight, he may not have as much public recognition as he would have had he just ran the year after. We have here as well, we have the King of Pentacles. He's not going to have a lot of endorsement and a lot of investors and a lot of people trying to give him money to run or incentive to run for Gavin Newsom. We have here as well as we have the Knight of Swords. He doesn't also have the motivation to become president. I don't feel like there is some sense of motivation. I feel like he wouldn't win the Democratic primary unless the worst case scenario occurred. I don't know why I put it that way, but that is what I'm sensing here. We have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So this is 7 of Swords. The election will not be stolen. At least that's what's going to be on the news and stuff like that. So election will not be stolen. So we know that for sure. We have here as well, though, that it's not going to be in-person voting anymore. So this potentially could mean that we vote by electronic, we vote by mail. This is what this could potentially mean. We have here, we're going to end up finding out through a wheel of fortune, right, a change in fortune, that there will be an upset. And then there's going to be a new leader. Potentially that could mean Gavin Newsom. Could mean that he's the next president. Could mean that he will become president during this time period in which he runs. Could mean, but he's not going to win the popular vote. Or even win the electoral college. What I'm sensing here is that although he doesn't win the electoral college or the popular vote, and you're like, Chris, well, how did that happen? What that could possibly be is that by the time he runs, there's a third party gaining traction within the United States, which means that just say the third party gains about 30% of the popular vote, while both other two major political parties gain about 40, if I do the math correct, or about 45, 30, 35, whatnot. What that means is that the third party is competitive, which means that nobody will most likely reach that 270 threshold, which means it gets thrown to the House. And it might be a Democratic House, and whoever those people in those houses vote for, it will become the next president. Very similar to that. He could be running for president, may not be elected, may not be winning a popular vote, but will be president under that circumstance, under that scenario. Again, that's just for entertainment purposes only, and that could indeed change as time goes on. Nothing is set in stone, but at least now you know there is a possibility, a small one at least, for a third party and Gavin Newsom to become president. So I hope that helps. So let's do a little bit. We're going to end off the reading with a little bit of inspirational messages for you as well. Yes, interesting. Yes, looks like some potential big uphill battles and conflict. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, so I bought this brand new thing. If you guys wanted, they sell this at $5 and below. So if you want to have your own, $5, can't go wrong. So these are some inspirational messages for you guys. What you need to work on. So Spirit Angel, please tell me, what do my viewers need to work on in terms of themselves? What do they need to work on? How can they make themselves a priority in their life? Okay. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine a number, 1 to 3. Whatever number you see, you can pause the video if you need more time. Whatever number you see, that is the message that you are meant to look at. Now, if you see all 1, 2, 3, you see 2, 1, 3, 4, whatever, 3, 3, 2, whatever, that is the message for you. Okay, you can have more than one. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Thank you, Paula. Love you. So for number 1, so if you feel very drawn to the first one, is that they want you to take a walk in the park and embrace nature, right? One thing you need to work on here is that you can screenshot this if you need. Ask yourself, what type of self-care do I need, right? Ask yourself, do I need physical? Do I need emotional? Do I need social? Do I need mental? Then I want you to ask and write this down when you're ready. And I want you to ask is, I will take care of myself by blank. And I want you to write how you're going to do. This is manifestation here. And then I want you to do the next question, which is how it made me feel. And I want you to write that down as well. And I want you to visit me back in the next 10 days or watch my videos, whatever you prefer. And I want you to tell me what happened, right? And by doing that and being in a more positive light, it's going to bring you more and be able to manifest you to become more prioritized in you as an individual and your health and your goals. That is the first thing I want you to do. Now, for those of you guys who feel drawn to the second one, or you saw number 2, we have here, find a quiet spot to meditate for 10 minutes. Some of you guys need to practice meditating. Sometimes you feel very stressed out. Maybe some of you guys feel like you can't get by because you keep thinking about a certain thing, right? This is the thing that you need to do. I want you to do the same thing. Type of self-care. I want you to ask yourself, what type of self-care do I need? Physical, emotional, social, or mental? then I want you to ask yourself and write this down on a piece of paper. I will take care of myself by blank, right? However you feel. Then I want you to ask how it made me feel. Because what I want you to do is I want you to keep telling yourself and be positive. Understand getting emotion, because part of healing yourself is understanding how you feel. And once you know how you feel, you're able to overcome it, right? For those of you guys who feel drawn to the third one is read an inspirational book. Read an inspiring book. Same thing, same back end, right? Time for self-care, physical, emotional, social, mental. I will take care of myself by blank and how it made me feel. Right? That's the question that you should be asking yourself. Prioritize you. That's important. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a very beautiful day. I hope you like today's video. I hope you find it more not influential, but find it informative. I hope you like it. I hope you like the content that I am creating on my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and the bell icon for more content such as this. Let me know in the comment section below what you do think. And I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video. I love you and have a very beautiful night. And if you haven't celebrated Halloween, happy Halloween. I love you, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Thank you, little Sparrow Tower. Thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.